welcome back to Emotional Mojo. So our next guest is a teacher in the ancient martial art of Kung Fu, but also believes in it as a way of life. You know, literally translated, it means hard work.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so we're excited to welcome author, world champion, and Kung Fu Hall of Fame inductee, Sifu Romain. Carl, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, we are all dressed up and ready to do something.
Yes,
we're going to do that in a minute, but we wanted to talk to you first because you were quite the inspiration. You just happen to be the founder of Kung Fu for a Better Life. Now, this is focused on empowering children. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's the main goal of Kung Fu for a Better Life, is to empower children to be more confident and to really understand what martial arts is about. You know, so many times they see it on TV, but they don't really understand the skills of it. And there's kids in the inner city sometimes that can't afford lessons. So what we do is we go on site and we provide them with martial arts lessons so they can actually learn the basics and fundamentals, as well as life leadership lessons as well.
So you mean you go to the schools to see the
We'll go
kids
to
and
the
work
schools,
together?
community centers, different organizations will bring us in. And Kung Fu for a Better Life, even last year we gave away scholarships to some kids that couldn't afford it.
It really,
I know your kids
yeah,
do
my
this.
kids are doing it, and
Not the program, but in general.
are doing martial arts, and I have seen a huge difference just in discipline. I mean, you said, you know, confidence and all of that, and it really, what is it about martial arts that just does that for kids?
You know, the number one thing is really the structure. You know, martial arts is a clear structure of discipline. You know, when you walk in, you're taught, you know, respect is the first thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that helps a lot. And for boys, the number one benefit is actually exactly that. It's self-discipline. And for girls, the number one benefit is self-confidence. And now we know that everybody can benefit from those things.
Well, and it's funny, too, because I think a lot of parents assume, okay, if I sign my kids up for martial arts, they're going to be really aggressive, they're always going to want to fight people and hit, but actually it's quite the opposite, right?
It's actually the opposite, true. And again, because we start with respect, you know, how do you treat somebody else? Once they have that in place, then we teach them, you know, the proper discipline and what it's actually used for and how to use it.
Okay.
And once we do that, you know, it actually, like you said, it does the opposite.
And you work with athletes as well, it's not just children.
I do
What
work with
else do you do?
athletes. So as a life coach right now, I'm teaming up with Advanced Wealth Partners and Maurice Evans, the former basketball player, and we're actually doing some life skills training for athletes, because, you know, as an athlete, you train your whole life, you get really good at one thing.
Yeah.
You know, but there's 6 areas to your life that you really need to pay attention to. It's your career, it's your finances, your spiritual life, your relationships, your financial life. You know, 65% of all athletes, when they're done playing sports, go broke.
Yeah.
Isn't that an amazing statistic?
I believe it is.
Right.
Well, and not only then are you getting your program, but then you also have a role model for these kids who are like, whoa, I remember him, and he can do this, and I can do this.
So it's fantastic how we tie everything together.
Carl, how does it affect us emotionally and psychologically, our complete wellness, when we engage in this type of activity?
In so many ways, because you're really learning about yourself. I think it was Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, said, you know, martial arts is about confronting your own self.
Ooh,
you know, and the people who actually can get through that process, they're the people who attain their black belt, but they actually gain a lot mentally, emotionally, physically, in every way possible. You know, you're facing your fears. You know, when you have to stand in front of there and break the boards. I'm sure your kids went through that, right? There's this emotion that happens, right? And when you finally see a child, you know, maybe you can't do it the first time, but the second time he goes through that board, he's excited, and he gains so much confidence, he feels better.
So they're getting that leadership skills too.
Sure.
You know, that's amazing.
Well, we mentioned, too, that you are an author, and your latest book, The Self-Confidence Factor, A Parent's Guide to Bully Prevention. What do you think is the greatest defense against bullying? How does that tie in?
I think the greatest defense against bullying is being confident. You know, really believing in yourself. I mean, you're talking about bullying impacts 3.2 million families every single year. You have 160,000 kids that miss school every single day because they're afraid.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and this has been a problem that's ongoing. It's been around for a long time, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. So the greatest defense, I think, is as parents, we need to teach our kids how to be more confident in themselves.
Not teaching them martial arts so they can fight, but teaching them martial arts for the confidence.
Absolutely, teaching them how to speak up, how to use their voice, how to look somebody in the eye. You know, those are the most basic things, but when do we ever teach it to them?
Yeah.
You know, so if we can start with some of the fundamentals and actually instill those things in them, I think they can project more confidence, and simply by projecting more confidence, feel better about themselves.
Love it.
And I think we'd see a big change in the things that
And
are
I
going
love
on.
all the video we've been showing of the kids, you know, doing the Kung Fu, the martial arts, having fun. And I know it's good to prevent kids from being bullied, but I feel like it would help kids who are the bullies as well, because
I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
You know, there's an article I wrote about turning a bully into a leader, because the kids that are bullying, you know, some of them have some great leadership qualities.
Right.
Sure.
So if we can put them in the right environment, right, and channel it correctly, we can really help them.
Well, you also practice something that's called Qigong, correct? I said it right. And this promotes inner healing, right? How does that work? Because we're going to go practice some moves in a minute.
Right. Well, Qi is energy, Gong is work. So Qigong is using the body's natural energy to promote healing. The Chinese believe that all sickness in the body is caused when Qi or energy is blocked. So Qigong not only removes those blockages, but helps to bring the body's energy back to balance.
Ah, let's do this. What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
We don't have shoes on, which is fun too. I like this. So you can follow us. We're going to go over to our little performance area, if you will. So you have 2 moves you're showing us, correct?
I'm going to teach you guys 2 moves today.
Okay.
The first one is crane's breathing.
Okay.
Okay, so
We'll kind of stagger
I'm
here.
going to stagger. Can everybody see me?
Yes,
Follow along?
yes.
Okay, so crane's breathing is really just that. It's about breathing. You know, the way you breathe is the way you respond, right? And it affects how you feel directly. So what we're going to do is bring our hands down and bend our knees. We're going to raise our hands up, and as we raise our hands up, we're going to go to one leg. And as you can see, this is going to impact your balance as well. Then come down, and then we're going to bring it up again. And back down.
But you know what? It actually feels really nice. Your muscles aren't tense, even though they're contracted. It's kind of a nice feeling.
And what I want you to think about is, like, when a baby's upset, what do? You rock it, right?
Right.
So this gentle movement is just like rocking a baby. It's soothing, right? And when we combine with our breathing, inhaling and exhaling as we come up, you'll find that you feel a lot better.
So when would you do this then? You recommend when you're stressed out a little bit?
Whenever you're stressed out, you can do this. It doesn't take a long time to start feeling good. You know, you start feeling good right away.
And how long would you say to do?
5-10 minutes, you know.
Really?
9 repetitions of each exercise is a great way to start.
All right. Do you have another one for us?
I do have another one for you. You know, so many people are stressed out and they hold their stress in their stomach.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is release that stress by acting like a monkey. This is called Monkey Presents the Fruit. Okay, monkeys are playful. They're fun.
Like
So this is called Monkey Presents the Fruit. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our hands in. We're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to step forward and extend our hands out, holding it directly in front of you. And then pull it back in. And now switch the feet and go out and back. And again, in and out. And breathe in and exhale. Notice how the breathing starts to help you feel a lot calmer.
Yeah.
Really
that seems to be a running theme, you know, when it comes to meditation, martial arts, any of these practices.
Very important.
Yoga, it's the breathing, right?
Yes. One of the most fundamental things that we teach is just really how to breathe. And breathing is so important. And when people are stressed, they tend to forget to breathe.
Right.
So we really want them to breathe. We really want them to take the time out. You know, if they can't physically do the exercise, you know, sitting and breathing can be another great option.
So let's say someone like myself who has no experience with this whatsoever decides, you know what, I want to try this out on my own. What do you recommend? Because it's kind of intimidating. I assume you have experience.
Sure. Well, there's some great videos out there. You can go online. I have some great content out there that you can follow along. You can take a class. There are many places that offer classes. So if you do a search online, you'll find it. Local martial arts studios, YMCAs, gyms. They all give you the opportunity to practice either Tai Chi or Qigong and really get into it and at least have an experience.
Well, I love it. I think it's relaxing and fun.
I want to
Thank
go
you
lay
so
down.
much. I know, right?
Let's go get in the bed now.
Thank you for showing us those moves. I really appreciate it. You guys, if you want to get more information on Carl Romain's programs, visit sifuromain.com. And don't go anywhere, guys, because we'll be right back with a lot more coming up on Emotional Mojo.